1968 and you're traveling through time, your next stop will be the future.
Live from the 60s.
We've heard it before. Just wait. Wait for your moment. Wait for your turn. Not today. Not here. At the University of Kentucky, we run to challenges. Here, we know the world is asking tough questions. At UK, you'll help find the answers. Here, we always get back up. Because you're part of the Big Blue Nation, a community that will support you and push you further. Wait. Wildcats don't wait. Wildcats never stop.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Susan, it's so great to finally be able to get together again.
Oh, it sure is. And I really appreciate you picking up the bill.
I'm happy to. I've got the extra cash. Since we've all been driving so much more again, I've been using Upside, the free app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back just for buying the gas I was going to buy anyway.
But is it a hassle to use?
No, it's super fast and easy, and I can cash out whenever I want.
That's a total no-brainer. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code HEAT for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's promo code HEAT. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code HEAT for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code HEAT.
The weather is brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shops of the Tri-State. For low prices on snacks, soft drinks, and quality Marathon gasoline, visit the Clark's Pump and Shop nearest you. Clark's Pump and Shops of the Tri-State. Return, refresh, refuel.
Cool Hits weather.
We'll see sunshine today along with a few afternoon clouds, a high near 70, partly cloudy this evening with more clouds later tonight. Low Saturday night should be a 47. Sunday, cloudy early, then we'll see some showers in the afternoon and a high near 70.
Cool Hits 105.7.
Well, it's time for me to fade back into history.
Live from the 60s.
I'm the real Don Steele, and remember, the love you take is equal to the love you make. I'll be back next week, same time, same station, and most of all, same decade.
Live from the 60s.
This program was created and produced by M.G. Kelly. Executive producer, Sean Steele. Associate producer, Michael Schoenfeld. Co-producer, Krista Anderson. Live from the 60s with the real Don Steele is an M.G. Kelly production. All rights reserved.
The Cool Hits 105.7 studios are sponsored by Southern Ohio Medical Center. Cancer can be very scary, and cancer care can be complicated. But the SOMC Cancer Center takes you from what appears to be a maze to amazing care. SOMC, very good things are happening here.
Cool Hits 105.7 WLGC FM. Rena, Ashland.
Portions of this program may have been pre-recorded.
Cool Hits 105.7 and the Cool Hits Sports Network now presents Let's Talk Sports. Get ready as we talk with players and coaches, take a look at the top stories in sports, and take a look at all the scores from the night before. It's Let's Talk Sports, brought to you by Kentucky Farmers Bank, Clark's Pump and Shops of the Tri-State, Stoltz Pharmacy, River Cities Builders, and Wagner Rental and Supply. Now, let's talk sports with your host, James Collier.
And welcome into Let's Talk Sports on the Cool Hits Sports Network. James Collier, happy to have you along with us here on a beautiful Saturday morning in downtown Ashland. I've got a full house this morning. In studio, Boyd County Volleyball, the defending back-to-back region championship win over Raceland on Thursday night over at Ashland. We've got eight ladies in the house this morning, plus the two of the coaches. We'll talk with them in just a little bit. They'll play host to Bishop Brossard in the semi-state round on Monday night over at Boyd County. We'll preview the matchup. We'll be on the call for that one as well. World Series Game 1 in the books. Somehow the Astros managed to throw it into the trash can, and they fall to the Phillies. We'll break down Game 1 and see what lies ahead. Football regular season is in the books, and it's postseason time. We'll look at all of the RPI for Class Single A, Double A, Triple A, and 4A. We'll look at the brackets and how things lay out for the first 2 weeks. And, of course, that RPI that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever, but we'll break it down as much as we can and see which two teams should be moving forward out of their brackets once we go into week number 3. All of that plus the Border Sporting Goods rant of the week. That's as we continue here on Let's Talk Sports. Let's take a break. When we return, Katie Neltner in with her defending region champion Boyd County Volleyball Lions. We'll talk about it when we return after this here on Let's Talk Sports on the Cool Hit Sports Network.
In addition to the Greenup location, Stultz Pharmacy's newest location is at 437 James Hanna Drive in South Shore, but has retained the name you know and love, McDonald Pharmacy, with the same great service you'll find in the Greenup location, with free delivery service and their convenient drive-thru. Get your vaccinations and allergy shots, and of course, great prescription service at Stultz Pharmacy in Greenup and McDonald Pharmacy, James Hanna Drive, South Shore.
Does your gas station or convenience store need a facelift? If so, call River City Builders at 473-4112 for your remedy. Big or small projects, River City's Builders is a company for all your needs. We have extensive experience in the petroleum industry, from routine gas dispenser and canopy maintenance to above-ground, underground tank and piping work to full-blown remodels and new builds. Call River City Builders at 473-4112 for all your petroleum needs. We'll cover your back and keep your customers pumping gas.
Now's the perfect time to reseed your lawn before Old Man Winter arrives, and Wagner Rental is the place to go. If you need to overseed, aerate, or power plug your lawn, Wagner Rental has the tools and equipment for jobs of all sizes. Wagner Rental and Supply also carries Echo Power equipment such as blowers and chainsaws. For landscaping tools and equipment, see the guys that care. Wagner Rental and Supply.
Your Tri-State Rental Supermarket, Wagner Rental and Supply.
New Boston, Jackson, Chillicothe, and Ashland. Online, WagnerRental.com.
Hello, I'm Michael Bowling, Senior Vice President of Kentucky Farmers Bank. When you do business with Kentucky Farmers Bank, you're making an investment in your community. Your money stays local, we never sell your loan, and in turn, we invest in local families, churches, schools, and charities. We believe in our community, and that's why we are the better bank for loans.
Kentucky Farmers Bank, the better bank for loans since 1931. Located in Ashland, Summit, and Catlettsburg. KentuckyFarmersBank.com, member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Clark's Pump and Shop now has Arco, a new brand of gasoline. Look for Arco gasoline and our brand new state-of-the-art pumps at several of our tri-state locations. Clark's Pump and Shop still offers the same clean stores and the same fast, friendly service you've always received. You may have noticed a new facelift at some of Clark's Pump and Shop locations, and we invite you to stop in and see for yourself. To learn more, visit us online at myclarkspns.com. Clark's Pump and Shop, where you can return, refresh, and refuel.
The greatest songs of all time. You've got Cool Kids 105.7.
Back here on Let's Talk Sports on the Cool Hit Sports Network. James Collier, happy to have you along with us this morning. A full house here in the studio. We've got Boyd County Volleyball in the studio, but let's start first with the head coach for Boyd County, Katie Neltner's in. Katie, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. Thank you for having us.
Well, thanks for joining us. Back-to-back region champions, and you and I, we talked after the game Thursday, and you said this was something that you guys had planned on at the beginning of the year, one of those goals that you check off as you go through. What was it that allowed you to make this run and put back-to-back region champions in the back pocket?
You know, I think last year when we took the region, and I've always said since the beginning, there's no reason in playing outside of the region until you can beat what's in the region. So we really haven't, if you look at our schedule, traveled much outside of the region prior to this year. So once we took region last year, we sat down and we really started looking at our schedule, and we wanted to challenge ourselves with opportunities outside of the 16th region, which meant taking a 5-hour trip to Owensboro at the beginning of the season where we saw top talent. We went to Lexington not 2 weekends later and saw even more top talent, came up against Bowling Green, who's listed number 1 right now as the RPI. So, you know, I think this year when we sat down to plan and we really thought going into it, hey, let's make a challenge for ourselves, you know, because once you get to the state tournament, you're not playing 16 region teams. So I think that's one of the things that really helped us accomplish our goal here is that we went out and we played the harder teams, the tougher teams. We went and saw kind of just a plethora of teams throughout the state of Kentucky. And, you know, I think that really set us up for a win here in the 16th region.
One of the things that you talked about Thursday, RPI, and it really has changed the way that you have to go about scheduling.
Absolutely.
And it really makes things challenging because it does. It forces you to have to challenge yourself and, more importantly, make some longer travels than what you would have to do in a regular season.
Right. The Owensboro tournament kind of just fell in my lap. I was looking for some tournaments with some of those Western and Central Kentucky teams because that's generally where the tougher teams lie. But RPI, it is, once COVID hit and they changed the Sweet 16 game to the semi-state game, and you have home court advantage and you don't have to travel. RPI came into effect. I probably 4 years ago couldn't have told you what RPI was, but now it's a huge factor in determining postseason because now we host the 10th region. Last year we hosted the 15th region. So just the home court advantage and not having to travel X amount of hours to play your Sweet 16 game.
Getting a chance to play host, as you said, you had that game last year against the 15th. You get Bishop Brossard on Monday night. Getting a chance to step back on your home court one final time, how special is that? Not only just for the program, but more importantly for your seniors.
I think it's huge. I mean, these girls have been with me since most of them 7th grade. When we didn't pull districts and we didn't pull region, it's kind of just a little heart-wrenching. But the semi-state game, like you said, gives us an opportunity to be back on our home court on an even bigger stage. So, last year I think we had 800 people in attendance, and, I would say that we would probably repeat that. Bishop Brossard's only 2 hours away, so I imagine they'll have a fan base that travels. But either way, I know that Boyd County will fill the stands for us. And, that's how it's been consistently for the past few years. But to have these girls go out semi-state on their home court, I think is huge to finish out their career.
When you look at that's the stands, and you talk about 800 people in that gymnasium, that place gets rocking, and you can feel the energy. Is that something you guys really play off of when you play at home, is all of that energy you get from the people in the stands?
Absolutely. We have a huge fan base. Every single one of our parents shows up big. We have boyfriends, we have siblings, we have grandparents. The Boyd County fan base is huge. That being said, the gym hosts 1,500, I'm pretty sure. So
we need to up that number a little bit.
If we wanted to up that 800, it wouldn't be a bad thing. So, our fan base on a regular game day is huge, and it's supportive, and it's loud. You bring the pep band, you bring the pep club, you bring the football team like they did for us this past region game. Once you get a bunch of high schoolers, and then our parents are loud enough on their own, but you add about 100 to 200 students and faculty and just people that love these girls and support them. It gets pretty loud, and the girls can feel that on the court.
How big was that, the student section, the way it poured out for that Thursday night game?
I think it's fantastic. We try and support as many programs as we can. And, in turn, they return the favor. And, watching the football team walk in and watching everyone in the crowd and the theme and just the excitement that they have for our girls and the support that they give. I think it's huge when your parents and, siblings and family and people that, I guess, who are typically required to be there and support you. But, when you see the people that you go to school with and your friends and the people you sit in classrooms with come out and support you, I think that just brings a whole new level to the girls' play because all of a sudden it's their peers that are supporting them.
You're 6 years into the program. The first year you took over a team that was winless. What was the expectations year one when you took over?
Well, I didn't know we were winless when I took over the program, so that was a little bit of a shock. And then we started winning games, and everyone was hyped, and I was like, well, this is easy. And then I realized just how low the program had been. So, there was not much expectation put on me, but the minute we started winning games and the minute we started running this program the way it should have been run, and the minute these girls started playing volleyball and seeing volleyball the way that volleyball should be played in Eastern Kentucky and throughout the state, it was all of a sudden, a light bulb just went off, and, the skill developed and the girls developed, and all of a sudden there was a program built. And, I think from that first season on, we set a precedent of what Boyd County volleyball would be. But at the beginning, I don't think there was very many expectations of what we were going to do.
What were those expectations for you, though? Again, you set the goals for your program. What was those long-term goals, and did you see kind of almost a little bit of instant success when you took over, like you said, not realizing this? You felt like, okay, this is pretty easy.
Well, I am competitive in nature. I don't think that shocks anyone. So, my goal setting out was to build a winning program, to, establish a program more so it was just building the fundamentals. When you come to Eastern Kentucky and in the long run, and if you look at the whole state, Eastern Kentucky is way behind in the volleyball game, and I think that's extremely apparent when a majority of our Eastern Kentucky schools go and play anywhere outside of this region. However, I think that the focus that Boyd County puts on fundamentals, Jamie's been instrumental in that in the past few years. We just teach our girls the basic fundamentals, and once you do that, fundamentals beat skill any day of the week, and then you put the fundamentals with the skill that our girls have, and I don't care who you put on the other side of the court.
When you talk about fundamentals, that's your foundation of your program. How much have you seen in these 6 years, that solid foundation that you've created that now allows you to start building this superstructure that has become Boyd County Volleyball?
I think it's huge. I think it really played out the district championship game 2-3 years ago whenever it was Ashland versus Boyd County, and they had 8 seniors rostered, and they had all the skill in the world, and what beat them was Boyd County fundamentals. And I think when you look at instances like that, it is just a proven factor that any team can come out and can compete, but the team that's going to win is the team that doesn't necessarily have the skill and the age and the experience. Is the team that has the basic fundamentals, and we do them every day. We do basic pass set hit. I think it's funny when people are like, well, what do you do in practice? Or we want to come watch your practice. And I'm like, we legit sit down and we run the same fundamentals, because at the end of the day, this game is a game of repetition, and it's a game of perfect repetition, and it's muscle memory. And in volleyball, you don't have time to think. It's a 2-3 second, if that, reaction time. But to get to that reaction time, you have to build that muscle memory. And when you build that muscle memory, it's just straight practice of fundamentals. So
that's something that you talk about, and I've talked about it several times covering you guys. You may be up 2 games and none in a set, and you fall behind a couple points early on, and a timeout and a come to Jesus talk is coming. And it's because of those expectations. You don't want your team to play down to the level of your competition. You want your team to excel and play to their level of expectations every time.
Absolutely. I think that when you practice for the next game, and when you play a game, you play for the next game. So if we're playing a team that necessarily doesn't have the skill level that we have, we have to bring our game, because that means the next game we're going to play down just because it's muscle memory. So, I fail, and I try to let more than a few points, even if we're ahead, a few points get taken. One time when I was in college, I heard a stat that, and it might not be true, but I heard statistically if you let 5 points go by, you've lost the game. So you will never see me not call a timeout once 2-3 points have come, because that statistic sticks in my head. But additionally, volleyball is a game of momentum, and all of a sudden you get in 1, 2, 3 errors, and even the best of kids are going to start getting in their head at that point in time. So I like our come to Jesus moment, even if we're winning.
For the girls, what's the one thing that you love so much about this group, of one, how they play, and two, how much of a cohesive bond that they share?
This group is by far the most talented group that has come out of Boyd County. And we've been together for so long, and we've been through so much, and we've had so many of these come to Jesus meetings. And, I feel like at the end of the day, I leave practice, I leave these games, no matter how frustrated I've been, I just know that they're going to get it done. And on top of that, I'm not a typical girl. I hate drama. I hate, the bull that comes along with it. So when I took over the program, I told them, at the end of the day, you don't have to be best friends with anyone on this court, but you do have to respect each other. And I think we've built that in this program, that not only is there a healthy respect for each other, but they just genuinely care about each other. Does that mean that there's not drama sometimes? There's not a little bit of infighting? I mean, we're high school girls, so you're going to have some of that. But at the end of the day, these girls genuinely love each other, and they genuinely respect each other for the skill and the effort and the attitude. And they're just overall fantastic human beings. So getting to work with them every day for the past 6 years has been huge.
Having so many players that can swing so big at the net, and at times you see that one has the hot hand as compared to the other. How fortunate are you as a coach to have a program to where you can feed that hot hand, whichever one it may be, and it can change from set to set?
Absolutely. We have so much talent, so much skill spread throughout our court that typically if someone's having an offset, or we've had a couple errors. My setters can pretty much guarantee I'm gonna tell them who to set at what point in time. But the inverse of that is that 1 or 2 errors isn't a bad set. So we have setters that are intelligent enough to determine which hitters are on at the point in time or which set needs to be put where. And I've got hitters at the front row that are just so athletic and so skilled that whatever they're handed, they're going to put it over and they're going to be productive with it. And, to be a defense facing 5 significant hitters at any given time, I mean, that's nearly impossible to do.
I'm going to ask you first, and I'll let Lindsay sit back and think about this one before I go to her. She's probably got the worst possible position on this team as a libero, knowing that you're a libero as well. Do you find yourself maybe a little more critical on her because of the position and how much time you spend at it, especially during college?
Lindsay is 3-time the player I would have ever been in college. So, I don't think that I'm harder on her. I think I'm harder on the team as a whole when it comes to defense versus offense. Lindsay came out as a little 7th grader, and she has not stopped since the day I met her. So, are there times that I put more pressure on her? Absolutely. Are there times that I ask more of her than I ask of anyone else? Probably, because, there are times that we can't get a pass to save our life. But that being said, our defense is solid. It's one of the main things that we practice. And, I think as a whole, if I'm harder on anything, it would be defense, but I don't think that I'm harder on Lindsay specifically. I did in the region championship tell her to get her team together because we were struggling there in that second set for a minute. But I think at any given point that could have been anyone. It was just she happened to walk up to me at that point.
We may have to kick her out when we bring Lindsay, so I can get a real answer to Lindsay stuff. Set back right now and look back 6 years from now. How would you grade yourself in year 1 as compared to where you are now, back-to-back region champions?
Me personally or the team?
You.
Oh, Lord. I am uber critical of myself when it comes to coaching. Some days when I go home, I think, you're probably too hard on them, or you were probably, should have let that go, or you should probably, Pete always tells me, why don't you just try and be nice? And I'm like, at the end of the day, I feel like I'm a very nice person. But I think the intensity and the attitude that I coach with sometimes comes off a little harsh to people. So, I'm always super critical when I go home. It's the same thing, in my normal career. It's you go home and you decompress on the day and you think, well, I coulda, shoulda, woulda. But at the end of the day, all that I can hope is that these girls know that I love them. And even on a harsh day, even a rough come to Jesus meeting, I think that I know that I know that they know that I love them. So, I think that there are times that I fail them, but, overall, I think I've grown as a coach. I think that, when I had my heart issues earlier this year, I kind of sat down and decided, is this a stressor that I wanted to take on? And, I decided at that point in time that that's what I was going to do. So I have been slightly chiller this year in my yelling. Everyone asked me, where'd your yelling go? And I was like, oh, it's still there. But, I think overall, I think I've grown as a coach. I think I've chilled out a little bit, but I still think that when I feel there's an intensity drop or an attitude drop, I will never complain about our skill because our skill will not lose us games. But, at some point in time, you do have to worry about attitude and effort.
When you talk about you looked at it and saying, do I want this stressor? Do you look at the game, though, and say, this is a game I love, and the ability to be able to share the game I love with your girls on the team, is it more of a relief than it becomes a stressor?
Absolutely, and stressor is in, the physical stress of the constant program and the constant practices, and, we don't stop from July to now. I mean, we haven't stopped. You're talking 5-6 days a week, so stressors is in physical stressors. At the end of the day, my love of the game will always win out. People ask me, when's your last year? When are you retiring? When are you doing this? Is it this year? And I mean, everyone's over here stressing, and I'm like, I don't even look at that. We'll look at postseason, and once season is over, we start looking at the next year, and I make that determination. But the love of the game and the love of these girls will always have me coming back.
Boyd County head coach Katie Neltner joining us here this morning. Katie, always a pleasure. Thanks for bringing the girls in. I'm going to take a break and come back with them, but we'll see you Monday night.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us.
Let's take a break. When we come back, I've got 8 members of Boyd County Volleyball in studio. We'll talk with them when we continue after this here on Let's Talk Sports on the Cool Hits Sports Network.
In addition to the Greenup location, Stultz Pharmacy's newest location is at 437 James Hanna Drive in South Shore, but has retained the name you know and love, McDonald Pharmacy, with the same great service you'll find in the Greenup location, with free delivery service and their convenient drive-thru. Get your vaccinations and allergy shots, and of course, great prescription service at Stultz Pharmacy in Greenup and McDonald Pharmacy, James Hanna Drive, South Shore.
Stultz Pharmacy.
Does your gas station or convenience store need a facelift? If so, call River City Builders at 473-4112 for your remedy. Big or small projects, River City's Builders is a company for all your needs. We have extensive experience in the petroleum industry, from routine gas dispenser and canopy maintenance to above-ground, underground tank and piping work to full-blown remodels and new builds. Call River City Builders at 473-4112 for all your petroleum needs. We'll cover your back and keep your customers pumping gas.
Now's the perfect time to reseed your lawn before Old Man Winter arrives, and Wagner Rental is the place to go. If you need to overseed, aerate, or power plug your lawn, Wagner Rental has the tools and equipment for jobs of all sizes. Wagner Rental and Supply also carries Echo Power equipment such as blowers and chainsaws. For landscaping tools and equipment, see the guys that care. Wagner Rental and Supply.
Your tri-state rental supermarket. Wagner Rental and Supply.
New Boston, Jackson, Chillicothe, and Ashland. Online, WagnerRental.com.
I'm April Perry, the CEO of Kentucky Farmers Bank. On average, our employees have been with Kentucky Farmers Bank for over 10 years, and that is important to you and us. We want you to know who you are dealing with. Whether you are financing a new home, buying a car, or remodeling your kitchen, Kentucky Farmers Bank is the better bank for all your needs.
Kentucky Farmers Bank, the better bank for all your financial needs since 1931. Located in Ashland, Summit, and Catlettsburg. KentuckyFarmersBank.com. Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
The weather is brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shops of the Tri-State. For low prices on snacks, soft drinks, and quality Marathon gasoline, visit the Clark's Pump and Shop nearest you. Clark's Pump and Shops of the Tri-State. Return, refresh, refuel.
Cool Hits weather.
We'll see sunshine today along with a few afternoon clouds, a high near 70, partly cloudy this evening with more clouds later tonight. Low Saturday night should be a 47. Sunday, cloudy early, then we'll see some showers in the afternoon and a high near 70.
Cool Hits 105.7.
Back on Let's Talk Sports on the Cool Hits Sports Network. James Collier, happy to have you along with us here this morning as we're spending a lot of time in studio this morning with Boyd County Volleyball and having a great time doing so. We just finished up with the head coach for the team of Katie Neltner. Now let's bring in the ladies from the team. So I'm going to start with, I think we're starting with Lindsay in the back. Yeah, so we'll start with Lindsay. They're going to go around, introduce themselves, and give you their name, number, and position. So Lindsay, take it away.
My name's Lindsay Eakers. I'm number 3, and I'm the libero.
My name's Carly Conley. I'm number 1, and I'm a setter.
My name's Carly Mullins. I'm number 19, and I'm a middle blocker.
My name's Sydney Clark. I'm number 10, and I'm an outside hitter.
My name's Allie Caldwell. I'm number 11, and I'm a setter.
I'm Emma Sparks. I'm number 4, and I'm a middle blocker.
My name's Sophia Gifford. I'm number 14, and I'm a DS.
I'm Taylor Barsham. I'm number 2, and I'm an outside hitter.
Well, she goes last, so we get to ask her the first question. Oh, yeah. See, that's the way it works. Give her that microphone back. Taylor, for you, I kidded with Katie when you guys played in the district tournament. There was a couple times I said, were you jumping off the chairs on the outside edge? What is it about the way that they set the ball to you that allows you just to get up and with so much for just velocity of putting the ball down?
I don't know. They put it in the perfect spot. All I have to do is hit it, and I always tell them what kind of set I want, and they always know exactly where to put it.
When you see that ball, that perfect ball, is it just kind of like, okay, somebody needs to get out of the way because I'm ready to crush this thing?
Sometimes. And then sometimes I just feel like I can get on top of it and I can hit it anywhere. And then sometimes Alyssa on the bench tells me where to put it and then gives me positions. So
go to Lindsay. Lindsay, you're the first player that starts everything for this team. Being in that back row as the libero, and You get that ball started into the offensive attack. For you, when you get that first dig and you get that pass to that front row and you see the big play coming, how big of a play is that for you, for someone that a lot of the stats that go in the charts, the newspaper and everything, you don't see any of that?
It's huge whenever those plays get made because before they happen, I'm always extremely nervous. In my head, I'm always going, please don't hit the ball to me. Please don't hit the ball to me, because it makes me so nervous that I'm going to mess up. And, I mean, it all starts with defense. So if I mess it up or someone else on the back line messes it up, there's no shot. We're getting the point. So to see, like, a point actually follow through, it's great. I think we all get hyped about it, and it's just exciting.
When you see the girls that you have on your team that swing across that front row, are you glad they're on your team?
Definitely. I would not want to be the defender on the other side trying to dig up those balls, so definitely thankful they're on my team.
Let's go to Carly in the front row. Carly is one of the setters on this team. Getting the passes that you get from Lindsay and then knowing that you've got hitters across that net, any position that you want it to get it to, how much does that make your job easier for what you have to do?
It makes my job a lot easier because I have hitters on the front row that can adjust to anything, even when I'm doing bad. And so I'm very thankful that they're all as skilled as they are because I do have off days, and they're there to pick me up, and they're there to do anything with the set that they can. They're all very talented.
For you, having different types of big hitters across the net with Emma, Carly, and Taylor at any given spot, how much did it take you to get kind of used to the way that they wanted, or did they adjust to the way that you set?
Kind of both, actually. I play travel ball with some of these girls, so I've played with them for a couple years now, so we've just gotten a chemistry to where I know how to set it and I know how they can hit it. But then I moved here and I had to, start out new with some of the girls. So me and Allie, we set two different ways, but they're also talented to adjust to it. And me and Allie, we are both very talented, so we know how to adjust to how the hitter needs it too.
Carly, for you work down the pipe a lot of times there in the middle. When you get a chance to see that ball at the net, and a lot of times they put it just above the tape and you go up and pound it down. For you, when you see that perfect set, is it kind of like what Taylor said? You know what's coming?
Yeah, and you kind of know, immediately. I kind of anticipate it right as it touches their hand. I'm just kind of in my head getting ready, okay. And then Jamie, he'll just say, just get up there and hit it as hard as you possibly can. And and that's what I try to do, even though sometimes if I'm like, oh, that was bad, everybody's like, wait, no, you just hit that girl in the head. And then I'm I don't know. Whenever it's yourself, it's different. But yeah, something kind of goes through your body and you just kind of black out and go.
For you, but playing up on the net, which one's more fulfilling, when you get that big kill or when you get the big block?
So blocking actually has never been my strong suit. So this year it's been kind of a fun new adventure in a way to get those blocks and stuff. So especially when you're up against a huge, 6', 6'3" girl and you're even getting touches, let alone a block, that's really exciting. But so blocks are really, really fun, and that's something new that I've been able to experience. But I think just at the end of the day, going back and getting that, feeling your swing and watching it drop, there's just nothing like it.
For you, sharing that front net with all of the big hitters that you have on this team, and when you see a team that has to go to a double on one of those other players, it leaves you on a single block. Knowing that opportunity's there, how much do you have to know you have to take that opportunity? And then when you start connecting, that double comes to you and it opens somebody else up. Mm-hmm. How big is that?
Yeah, it's huge because we're a very intelligent team, and that's something we practice. We practice spots, and we have a lot of knowledge of the teams that we play, so we kind of know where to put the ball. And if they're double walking one of us and then the other one gets set up, like you said, it's a wide open area, then we just adjust to them, and then we'll be able to burn them again in that spot. But angles and shoulder direction is a huge thing that we practice.
Sydney, for you, working that outside on the pin, getting those attacks from that outside edge, for you, how much of a change has that been? And again, drawing that attention from someone else to allow somebody else to get that big swing, how big is that as a role player for you?
I think that putting it to me, like, and then drawing the block to me doesn't normally, like, happen much because I'm not very effective because of where I'm short. But when it does happen, I think getting our middles open is the most important thing for our team because our middles are wicked talented. They pretty much can put anything over the net. So getting them open is such a big thing because they can do anything with it. And they'll get it down and they'll get the point.
Having two setters that can get the ball to you at any position, how special is that as well, especially with an offense that likes to go?
I like the change of it. And with the setters, it gives you a good change and it gives you a good feel of the game. And changing it is just so big because the other team's not going to expect it. When you get a new setter, it opens up so many new possibilities to get new points. And I think it just changes the way the game goes.
Allie, for you, one of those setters, first thing I want to ask you is you make a big play or something happens and everybody in the stands, I saw them earlier when they did it, those ones goes up over top. Girls show everybody at home what happens. When you see the double ones go up, what does that do for you? Does that really amp you up?
Yeah, it makes me really excited, and it makes you feel good to know that you're doing good and other people think that you've done well. And it's just, it makes me feel good.
For you, having the opportunity to have the hitters that you have, being in that setter role, do you have to be perfect or do you just get the ball somewhere close to where you want it and they take care of the rest?
Well, you don't have to be perfect. You would like to be. And I trust them enough to know that wherever I put it, they're going to hit it over and it's going to be good and they're going to be smart about it. But I would like to get it exactly to where they want it. But
you get an opportunity every once in a while. You'll creep up on the net, and sometimes you like to attack on two, and you'll find those soft spots. Is it that sixth sense of when that opening is there, or is it somebody that's giving you like, hey, now's the time to go? How does that play with a setter?
Normally there's someone around me. It could be Carly Conley or just anyone telling me, hey, this is open, or like just anything, or Katie or someone. And it really helps me out with other people talking to me and telling me about those places.
Emma, for you, you're one of those players that you're kind of all over the place. You can go from the pins, you can go down the middle. For you, having the ability to be so versatile at the net, how much does that make you more difficult to play defense on because of the way that you can attack?
It just makes it hard to read my shoulder, and that's like something you're taught in defense is like read the shoulder. But when I'm in the middle, it's not really my shoulder telling where I'm going. It's more like I cut my wrist, and so you can't really tell about that. And especially like where I can hit quicks or where I can hit on the outside, like down the line or across either way. It's like I like intentionally do different things so you don't know where I'm going to go, so I'm a more effective player.
It seemed like in the regional championship game, a lot of times you were in the middle, but you were working that outside line. Did you see that angle? As that was one of the things that was being given there with the way the Raceland defense was setting up?
Yeah, I tried to not hit it at the libero much because I could hit like a one and she would dig it, but then if I hit it to like her opposite side, then it would always go down that line and nobody was there. So I had to do that intentionally.
For you, which one's the bigger, that big swing at the net for the kill or that big block?
A big swing because like I've always been a middle blocker, but unfortunately blocking has never been like my best thing because I'll forget to go up and block sometimes. And so really it's like a swing for me is better. But when I do get a big block, then it's really exciting because I don't get as many big blocks as I do kills.
Having Taylor, Sydney, and Carly on that front row with you in any combination, how much does, when you see one of those really start excelling, do you know, okay, my chance is coming because now the attention's drawn somewhere else?
Well, like, if Taylor or Sydney or Carly one gets a big hit, I'm like, okay, if I get one next, and it's like it builds more momentum. Like, Taylor gets a big hit, then I get a big hit, then Allie Ellen Rice gets a big hit, and then the next rotation, Carly gets a big hit. And it's like it just builds up momentum for our team, and then it brings up our attitudes and gets us excited when we're all getting big kills.
Sophia, for you, as she said, by the way, she's the DS. That's a defensive specialist, by the way. But you had your number called when we went into the regional round because Sydney went down with an injury, and you kind of were put into the rotation. For you, stepping up in that position, how big was that for you?
I was scared. I mean, I played like front row like 4 years ago, but like I don't practice it, so I was really nervous, but I will do anything for the team, so I was just got to get in for Sid.
Yeah, did it feel weird whenever you made that first rotation? Because usually that's when you're coming off the court after you've done your service, you played your back row, now it's time to go sit down.
I was like, this feels really weird because I didn't know where to go. I looked out of place, and I'm like, oh, this is not right. This ain't right.
Having the ability, though, to be versatile like that in a place where the team needed someone to step in, how special was that for you of knowing that you fulfilled that role?
I was really happy with myself at the end of the night because I don't hit. So I was like, okay, I think I did pretty okay. And, like, I'm still just thankful for all my girls because they have my back, too, when I was, like, scared to death.
When did it feel like that the game settled in for you through that regional tournament?
Never. I don't think ever because I was nervous the whole entire time.
So what you're saying is you're okay with serving and playing back row and then taking your seat?
Yeah, that's like my habitat.
So
but
Sydney, she's telling you, hurry it up, okay? She needs you back again.
What?
I was telling her, so you're telling Sydney, hurry up and get back on.
Oh yeah, she needs to get back up there because Lord, I don't know how she just stays up there like that. I gotta get back there now.
Taylor, for you, the biggest swing of the tournament came against Fleming County, and the girl, I thought for sure that it had broken her nose when you hit it off of her face. It was such a huge swing. And was it Carly? Oh, I thought it was Taylor. Okay, either way. Well, hang, give back up to Carly for a second. Okay. When you get a big swing like that takes someone off their feet, again, you're not playing the game to try to hurt someone. It's just the way that the speed of the game moves. But when you take someone off your feet, what kind of a feeling is that?
Well, I'm the type that I'm like, oh, no, I'm so sorry. But everybody around me's like, yeah! And so it's just not in my nature to be. But, again, I'm always like, are you okay? And they're like, yeah, even though they're not probably. But, but I mean, I can't lie. It is a good feeling just because you know you've hit it as hard as you can. But, yeah, that's happened several times. And Jamie probably encourages me a little bit too much when I do that. But yeah, it's exciting, but at the same time, in the back of my head, I'm like, oh, I hope she's okay.
Taylor, there was one ball that I do remember vividly in the Raceland game. The girl played limbo trying to get out of the way from it. And I asked Katie about this. I said, when you see a player seeing her lining up and you see him darting out of the way, what would you think? She said, I'd probably try to get out of the way too. When you get that player jumping out of the way, how much does that put that target on that player the next time you get a swing?
I just look at them and I'm like, I feel like they're scared to pass my ball, but I'll try to hit it and I'll try to make them the target because I know that they're kind of, I don't know, intimidated, I guess. But yeah.
All right, girls, let's go around the room one last time. The same question I want all of you to answer. You get a chance to set back on your home court Monday night against Bishop Brossard. How special is that? Lindsay, I'll start with you.
It's extremely special, especially being a senior, because that's the last time any of us 7 will ever get to set back on that court again. And, I mean, last week, 2 weeks ago, we thought that was the last time. So it's just an honor to be able to set back on there, and having home court advantage, that's going to help us out a lot. Having it right there to where all of our fans can just easily come out. They don't have to drive 2 hours. I think it's just going to be a big turnout, and I'm thankful to have it on our home court.
Carly, for you?
I'm really thankful to have it on our home court because I've been really close to a lot of these girls for a very long time, like a lot of the seniors. And I know how special it is to them to be in the state again and to play on the home court again just one last time. Win or lose, they still it's the memories that you make on the court. It's not about the outcome.
Carly?
I think for me it's going to be really surreal. As a senior, I remember going to my very first middle school open gym on that same net in that same gym. And so, yeah, like she said, emotions are going to be high. Win or lose, everything's going to be really amped up. It's going to be a great atmosphere. So, yeah, it's in the moment, it's going to be hype and exciting. But afterwards, it's going to be a special memory to look back on.
Sydney?
I just think it's so special for our seniors and everything to play on our home court for one last time because we're all best friends, and we might have next year being juniors, but they don't. And I think it's just so special getting to play with them on our court one last time because I'm going to miss them, and it's just going to be so good getting to play with them where we've all played the entire season.
Allie?
Yeah, it's really important to be back there because it just feels like surreal to not play there again, and it doesn't feel right. But with all the fans there, it's going to be big and fun, and it'll be nice.
Emma?
It hasn't really hit me yet that it's like the last time I'm ever going to play on that court, but I know I'm going to look back and it's going to be good memories, and it just feels special to me that I get the opportunity to play there one more time, especially for like the first round of state.
Sophia?
It's going to feel really special, and it's going to be something I'm going to tell my kids about. So it's going to be like heartwarming, but it's going to have a lot of emotions going around.
Taylor?
I feel like moving here and being invited by all of these girls, and they're like my sisters now. I just feel like it's going to be so sad seeing them leave, just the relationships that we have now.
Well, ladies, first off, thank you so much for joining us here this morning. We'll be with you guys Monday night for coverage for the semi-state round against Bishop Brossard here on Cool TV. It's been a pleasure. Best of luck. Congratulations on back-to-back region titles, and good luck Monday night.
Thank you.
Boyd County Volleyball and head coach Katie Neltner here this morning on the show. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll talk Major League Baseball. World Series game number 1's in the books. We'll talk about it when we return after this here on Let's Talk Sports on the Cool Hit Sports Network.
In addition to the Greenup location, Stultz Pharmacy's newest location is at 437 James Hanna Drive in South Shore, but has retained the name you know and love, McDonald Pharmacy, with the same great service you'll find in the Greenup location, with free delivery service and their convenient drive-thru. Get your vaccinations and allergy shots, and of course, great prescription service at Stultz Pharmacy in Greenup and McDonald Pharmacy, James Hanna Drive, South Shore.
Stultz Pharmacy.
Does your gas station or convenience store need a facelift? If so, call River City Builders at 473-4112 for your remedy. Big or small projects, River City's Builders is a company for all your needs. We have extensive experience in the petroleum industry, from routine gas dispenser and canopy maintenance to above-ground, underground tank and piping work to full-blown remodels and new builds. Call River City Builders at 473-4112 for all your petroleum needs. We'll cover your back and keep your customers pumping gas.
Now's the perfect time to reseed your lawn before Old Man Winter arrives, and Wagner Rental is the place to go. If you need to overseed, aerate, or power plug your lawn, Wagner Rental has the tools and equipment for jobs of all sizes. Wagner Rental and Supply also carries Echo Power equipment such as blowers and chainsaws. For landscaping tools and equipment, see the guys that care. Wagner Rental and Supply.
Your Tri-State Rental Supermarket. Wagner Rental and Supply.
New Boston, Jackson, Chillicothe, and Ashland. Online, WagnerRental.com.
Hello, I'm Michael Bowling, Senior Vice President of Kentucky Farmers Bank. When you do business with Kentucky Farmers Bank, you're making an investment in your community. Your money stays local, we never sell your loan, and in turn, we invest in local families, churches, schools, and charities. We believe in our community, and that's why we are the better bank for loans.
Kentucky Farmers Bank, the better bank for loans since 1931. Located in Ashland, Summit, and Catlettsburg. KentuckyFarmersBank.com, member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Fall brings us football, cooler weather, leaves changing colors, and more great deals at Clark's Pump and Shop. This month, assorted Snickers, Twix, and M&M share-size candy bars are 2 for $4. Jack Link's beef and cheese sticks, 2 for $3. Nature Valley granola bars, 2 for $2. And assorted Hershey standard size candy bars are buy 2, get 1 free. Get these deals and more at your nearest Clark's Pump and Shop, where you can return, refresh, and refuel.
We're your home for Motown, soul, and great rock and roll. We're Cool Hits 105.7.
Back here on Let's Talk Sports on the Cool Hit Sports Network, a big thanks to Katie Neltner and Boyd County Volleyball. Those young ladies are fabulous. I've had a great opportunity over the last several years, especially this year's group of seniors, to get a chance to know them and cover them through the game of volleyball. And volleyball is a game I love. I've got a lot of passion for it. It's where I started my broadcasting. When I first started up at Marshall University, everybody was telling me, you got to slow down, you got to slow down. Well, then you get into the game of volleyball, and you can't slow down, especially if you're calling it on radio. And you slow down, and you've missed 2 or 3 passes or a big swing. So that's I guess that's probably one of the reasons I have so much passion for the game and just learning the game as I've gone along and still learning it today. But it's really fun to watch when the game is played at a high pace, very high tempo, and just so many players that play the position the way that it's meant to be played. And that's something that Boyd County brings to the table. It was no secret they were the class of the field in the 16th region, and we certainly wish them the best as they go up against Bishop Brossart over at Boyd County on Monday night. 7 o'clock first serve. We'll have the coverage for you right here on Cool TV and the Cool Hits Sports Network. World Series Game 1, man, what a crazy one this one was last night. The Houston Astros jump out to a 5-0 lead through 3 innings. The Phillies put up 5 runs through the 4th and 5th inning, and then it's goose eggs all the way until we get to the 10th. And then JT Realmuto hits a 10th inning solo home run, and the Phillies knock off Houston in Houston 6-5 in 10. It's no secret that you should expect extra innings between these two. The 1980 National League Championship Series, holds the record for most extra inning affair in a postseason game between Houston and Phillies, and that was when Houston was still in the National League West. But chasing Justin Verlander after he was so tough last night, and then he gets to the 4th inning, and it's like, what happened? So Verlander, his numbers in the postseason have been terrible, to say the least. But the Phillies still won on the road. Game 2 tonight at 8 p.m. at Minute Maid Park. Zach Wheeler will go for the Phillies. Framber Valdez will take the ball for the Astros. All right, postseason football coming up this week. Let's take a look at the brackets and how this stuff sets up, and I'll try to explain some stuff as we work through this. So, since the RPI took over, again, everything goes online in a bracket, and it really confuses a lot of people because then after the second week, that bracket really starts to become almost meaningless because it shifts around so much. So the bracket is only for the first 2 weeks. But taking a look here, so here's the bracket for Class Single A, and this is the bracket that Raceland and Paintsville Fairview all occupy. So Raceland will play host to Nicholas County. Paris will play host to Betsy Lane. The winners of those will play on November 11th in the second round. In the upper half of that bracket, Bishop Brossart plays Fairview. Paintsville will play host to Bracken County, and then those winners will play on November 11th. Hey, a crazy thing real quick last night. Paintsville was supposed to play Perry County Central down in Paintsville last night. It was senior night for the Tigers. The game was canceled because there was not enough officials. They could not get enough referees to be able to call the game. So Paintsville's final game of the regular season was banged because there wasn't enough officials. Now tell me we don't have an official shortage throughout the state of Kentucky. So that's how the first 2 rounds would look, okay? Then after that, it all goes over to RPI. So here's the way the RPI looks right now in Class A. These are your top 16 teams in Class Single A with Pikeville 1, Raceland 2, Hazard 3, Campbellsville your 4. Now, once we get through the first 2 rounds, then you take in that regional bracket, if you will, where you'll have Pikeville will play the lowest remaining seed out of the regions 5 through 8. And then Raceland would play the other seed out of 5 through 8. This again saying that both of those teams advance as it would be on paper. Then the 2 teams that come out of that would then match up with the 2 teams out of regions 1 through 4. And then once you get into the state semifinals, when you have 4 teams remaining, then it's whichever team has the highest RPI would play the lowest RPI, and then the 2 middle ones would play with the second highest ranking playing on their home field. So that's where we are, okay? So the bracket is only there for the first 2 weeks, and then it shifts every single week after that. The only thing that's locked in is your RPI. So the RPI rating that you see, the rankings that you see right now on your screen, Pikeville, Raceland, Hazard, Campbellsville. Those are your top 4. Pikeville, Raceland, Hazard are all out of Region 5 through 8. Campbellsville's on the other side. So Bethlehem, Holy Cross, Kentucky Country Day, and Williamsburg rounds out the top 8 there. So that's how things look in Class Single A. Now, here's the bracket on Class 3A for their local teams. Ashland, Magoffin County in the top half, Belfry and Russell in the lower half of that bracket. Then Lawrence County plays host to East Carter. Greenup County will bring in Pike County Central. Then the winner of each one of those games will play each other, and then that moves into your classification via RPI. Now, in the upper half of that bracket, this is where Mason County, Lewis County, and Fleming County all land. Mason County goes undefeated this year in the regular season, only the 3rd time in this season that they've done that in school history. Fleming County will play host to Garrard County. Mason brings in Rockcastle, and then Esdell County brings in Lewis. And then we get into the 16, and your RPI kicks in after the round of 16 as you get to your final 8. So here's your 3A RPI. Christian Academy Louisville, or Cal as it's known, is your top seed. Bardstown's the 2. Union County is the 3. Mason County is the 4. All 4 of those teams at 10-0 this year. 3A is going to be a phenomenal stretch down to the finish. This one's going to be very interesting to see how it plays out. But 4 teams in Class 3A, all with undefeated regular seasons. Now, in Class 4A, this is Boyd County. So Lexington Christian Lexington Catholic, my mistake, will play Scott. Holmes has Bourbon County. Boyd County brings in Anderson County, and then Boyle County plays host to Rowan. Boyd and Boyle County are in the same side of the bracket, and then Scott, Holmes, Bourbon County, and Lexington Catholic all in the upper half of that bracket. Now, on the other side, Johnson Central plays host to Lincoln County, Wayne County, and Clay County in the bottom half of their bracket. And then here's how your 4A RPI sets. Corbin's the 1, Boyle County the 2, Lexington Catholic the 3, Warren East the 4. The highest ranked team from this area is Johnson Central. They come in at 7. Boyd County is at 9. So that's a look at your classifications and how the brackets line up through the first 2 weeks of postseason football. It's going to be fun. It's hard to believe we played through week 11, and now it's time for the first of 5 weeks for that mad dash toward that first weekend in December. Let's take our final break. When we return, it's the Border Sporting Goods Rant of the Week. That's as we continue here on Let's Talk Sports on the Cool Hits Sports Network.
In addition to the Greenup location, Stultz Pharmacy's newest location is at 437 James Hanna Drive in South Shore, but has retained the name you know and love, McDonald Pharmacy, with the same great service you'll find in the Greenup location, with free delivery service and their convenient drive-thru. Get your vaccinations and allergy shots, and of course, great prescription service at Stultz Pharmacy in Greenup and McDonald Pharmacy, James Hanna Drive, South Shore.
Does your gas station or convenience store need a facelift? If so, call River City Builders at 473-4112 for your remedy. Big or small projects, River City's Builders is a company for all your needs. We have extensive experience in the petroleum industry, from routine gas dispenser and canopy maintenance to above-ground, underground tank and piping work to full-blown remodels and new builds. Call River City Builders at 473-4112 for all your petroleum needs. We'll cover your back and keep your customers pumping gas.
Now's the perfect time to reseed your lawn before Old Man Winter arrives, and Wagner Rental is the place to go. If you need to overseed, aerate, or power plug your lawn, Wagner Rental has the tools and equipment for jobs of all sizes. Wagner Rental and Supply also carries Echo Power equipment such as blowers and chainsaws. For landscaping tools and equipment, see the guys that care. Wagner Rental and Supply.
Your Tri-State Rental Supermarket, Wagner Rental and Supply.
New Boston, Jackson, Chillicothe, and Ashland. Online, WagnerRental.com.
I'm April Perry, the CEO of Kentucky Farmers Bank. On average, our employees have been with Kentucky Farmers Bank for over 10 years, and that is important to you and us. We want you to know who you are dealing with. Whether you are financing a new home, buying a car, or remodeling your kitchen, Kentucky Farmers Bank is the better bank. for all your needs.
Kentucky Farmers Bank, the better bank for all your financial needs since 1931. Located in Ashland, Summit, and Catlettsburg. KentuckyFarmersBank.com. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
The weather is brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shops of the Tri-State. For low prices on snacks, soft drinks, and quality Marathon gasoline, visit the Clark's Pump and Shop nearest you. Clark's Pump and Shops of the Tri-State. Return, refresh, refuel.
Cool Hits weather.
We'll see sunshine today along with a few afternoon clouds, a high near 70, partly cloudy this evening with more clouds later tonight. Low Saturday night should be a 47. Sunday, cloudy early, then we'll see some showers in the afternoon and a high near 70.
Cool Hits 105.7.
Back here on Let's Talk Sports on the Cool Hits Sports Network. James Collier, happy to have you along with us here this morning. It's time for the Border Sporting Goods Rant of the Week. Border Sporting Goods US 60 in Cannonsburg for all your hunting and fishing needs, as well as Liberty Gun Safes. See the good folks at Border Sporting Goods US 60 in Cannonsburg. So, a big sale going on right now. All Garcia, Shimano, and G. Loomis rods and reels, kayaks are on sale. They've also got Black Friday sales on safes and firearms. Currently, a USA 30 is $14.99. The 50 goes up to $19.99. They've also got the Centurion models in the 12 and the 24 at $6.99 and $9.49. Stop out to Border Sporting Goods. See the great folks out there. Tell them I sent you. They'll get you set up with a great deal for all your hunting and fishing needs, as well as, hey, Christmas gifts not too far away. We're less than 2 weeks away, or 2 weeks, I wish 2 weeks, 2 months away from Christmas. Yeah, I'll get you the same thing I got you last year, Dwayne, different color. Well, it's, again, it's hard to believe, but I'm going to rant on some restaurants again. My wife and I, we stopped last night to pick up something before heading down to Louisa to get something to eat. And, you know, the thing that I get really frustrated about are these stupid reward cards and stickers and all these silly things that you have to do to get free things and stuff. And now you've got some that, you know, everything's over to the app and they're going away with and stuff, and I get that. Well, the issue becomes is that when you get in that transitional period, when they go away from stickers and now over to the app, well, that's where I was. So we had the card that was about half full when they said, we're using the app now. Okay, well, what about this card? So then a couple of days ago, last time we were in there, one of the workers just decided, okay, we're just going to fill this card out. Next time you come in, use it as a free one. Okay, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. So we came back in yesterday, and we presented the card, and the lady said, oh, we're only buying back the stickers that's on the cards, and they're 75 cents a piece. I was like, no, hold up. The card was supposed to be for a free one. And she goes, well, who did you talk to? So I had to describe the person that I talked to and so forth. And she's like, well, I'm going to have to contact her to see if she really did this or not. So I had to stand there and wait while my food is being prepared for her to text this person to say, did you really do this or not? Meanwhile, the manager was standing just down the way from her that could have literally just walked up and said, you know what? It's not a big ordeal. It's literally $9 that we're taking care of a customer. But no, I had to stand there for about 5 minutes while this lady texted back and forth with this worker to determine whether or not I was telling the truth or not. Now, I get it. We live in a crappy society, and people lie and cheat and steal all the time. But what happened to customer service and the customer's right? Okay, I'm not trying to come in there and cheat you out of $75 worth of pizza, for God's sakes. It was one stinking pizza. And it wasn't the fact that I wanted my free things. That wasn't it was the fact of it is that I presented this to you, and you basically treated it like that I had forged this card and was trying to get a free pizza. And, you know, I was to the point to where I wanted to walk out because I was kind of frustrated. Then on the backside of it, I wanted to just say, you know what, just throw the whole card in the trash can. I'll just pay for the whole order, just in precedence. And if I had to wait much longer, I probably was going to do that. But it's to the point, it's like, what happened to treating customers with respect? And the problem with that is that we have no respect anywhere in society. We don't respect anybody. We want to be respected, but we don't give it back. And I'm here to tell you, respect is not a one-way street. It's a two-way street. And if you want respect, you got to give respect. And these businesses, that they continue to put these people out there that have zero chance of being respectful to the people that they have in their facilities is just a mind-blowing thing for me. I'll never understand it. But either way, I got my pizza. I ate my pizza. They gave me my credit for my free one. And now, guess what? It's on the stupid app. So the next time I go in there, we'll have everything good to go. That's the Borders Sporting Goods rant of the week. Hey, a big thanks to Boyd County Volleyball this morning. Katie Neltner and her girls. Best luck to them. Monday night, they play host to Bishop Brossard in the semi-state round of the girls' volleyball state tournament. We'll have the call from Boyd County right here on the Cool Hits Sports Network and Cool TV. That'll do it for us this morning. Big thanks to my producer. He only screwed up once this morning, walked in front of a camera twice. So I guess actually twice he screwed up. But, other than that, a pretty good job. Guys, have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you next week right here on Let's Talk Sports on the Cool Hits Sports Network.
You've been listening to Let's Talk Sports on Cool Hits 105.7 and the Cool Hits Sports Network. Tune in each Saturday morning at 9 o'clock as James Collier interviews players and coaches, talks about the big stories in sports,